So preparing for the sculpture, we're going to go ahead and fuse some things together and retopologize and just simply parent others. So we're going to leave the eyes out, the ears out, the hair out, the neck, and the base. They're going to be parented, but they're not going to be retopologized. To retopologize, we're going to take the head, the mouth, the nose, and we're going to put those together. So first off, we're going to apply all the modifiers. Then we can get rid of this. Then we're going to go ahead and merge this and this with Control J. So this is Control J, puts those together, and we'll retopologize, and then we'll make everything else parent to the head. Okay. And you can see that the skull is now the parent for everything. So if I move the head around, everything should move with it. But these two items are the head and the nose are going to be retopologized and sculpted. So one thing to do when prepping to move to sculpting and retopology is to make certain that whatever your mesh is forms a manifold. And so in this case, what we're going to do is take this model here, and we're going to apply the Kapmuller-Clark, and then we're going to go ahead and use the 3D print of add-on, which is available under Edit Preferences, and it's a 3D print add-on, and we look for Make Manifold. And what this does is it will go in and check that the mesh is a complete manifold, which is what you need for best topology. So one thing you want to be certain to do is to always guarantee that before you submit to retopology, you go ahead and check that it's a manifold. A demonstration of using the mesh filter in Sculpt mode, looking at this neck, want to smooth the entire structure here. I don't have to go in and brush it. What I can do is do a mesh filter, go ahead and select mesh filter, select the object here that I want to use, and then holding down, then just make a gesture. Just continually make gestures, and you'll see that the join point and the entire object smooths out. And that is a way of being able to generically smooth an object entirely. We're ready to sculpt. We're going to go ahead and retopologize this first. We'll go ahead and start that. So we'll go into retopology, Sculpt mode, Retopology, turn on the text statistics, and go ahead and do the remesh, probably about 004. Let's try that. All right, so that's not good. So let's go ahead and undo that. 001. 08. Let's try that. Okay, that looks about right. So because this starts with a mesh, and we want to make certain that we are on the head. So we're going to do Sculpt, transfer Sculpt mode. That transfers it over there. So we're going to go ahead and transfer it to the head. And so now, so we've got these lines on it, and when people do sculpting, they don't normally sculpt from a subdivision surface mesh with the obvious lines, but the way to take care of that is to go ahead and use the smoothing brush, smooth brush, and then just go ahead and smooth this out. And then it most likely will be that you want to set mirroring. In this case, it's along the y-axis, and you can double check that that's going to occur because you should see the little dot over there on the opposite side. And then what you're going to do is just smooth this and take it out. Now for some straight lines, you can use the scrape brush, which will also is really good at taking out lines. But usually it's for like shaping these areas right here on the head where you've got a really sharp edge, and the smoothing brush seems to work best. And you can see the mouth is smoothing out. But what we're going to do is just get this whole area smooth here. And see, technically we should probably go and hide away the hair. So let's go ahead and do that. And finish smoothing up here, even though we probably won't see it. And so one of the whole ideas about this is that we are moving from the realm of vertex modeling to sculpting, and there's going to be elements that kind of linger. So for example, you can see these lines, and if you're not happy with, you can see vague lines in here. And so what you can do, hopefully with that, is take the scrape brush and take them out like that. So for removing those lines, it's a smooth brush and the crease brush. Then the next step is going to be to fix the mouth and the nose. As you can see here, the nose is pretty messed up. We go ahead and do that. Go to the smooth brush. I probably want to take the strength down, make certain that the symmetry is on. Make this relatively smaller. And here's another issue that comes up is the fact that when these pieces are joined together, they're going to have these sharp edges that comes when you were box modeling them. And I'm going to go ahead and flatten this nose here, this point. Let's see if this works. Okay, so that's probably too much. There we go. And depending on, so the smooth brush seems, so another issue you're going to run into is join points where the meshes are inserted into each other, and then when you'll have to make a decision on how to clean that up. And basically the smooth brush seems to be the best bet on it so far. And as you can see, this is smoothed up quite a bit. Now we're going to go ahead and start the mouth. So it's a good question where this is going to go. So what we're going to probably do is the draw brush and do it in a mode that is going to put down the let's go see if I can get the screencast things going. Okay. Okay, screencasts don't seem to be working. Let's see. All right, so yeah, we'll just have to go in that. So we're going to use the draw brush, and we're going to set it to draw in, which is with the control key. And we're going to try and rebuild the mouth. And if the mouth is a stroke across the top. Okay, so it needs to be sharper than that. Oops, got to draw it in, hold the control key. And we can also hold the shift key to smooth it. And it from the drawing, we want it to be fairly high up. Now what's going on here is it's supposed to be a full plane, and what the original plot plan with using the Boolean was to cut that plane in, but you can see it's kind of not working. So let's go take it back. And let's see if we can try something else. Let's see, maybe that'll help. Let's try the flatten. So that seems to work a little bit better. And now let's go ahead and smooth the outside edge. And then there seems to be a build-up, so we're going to do a draw and make it a little smaller. And go across here, see how this looks. Go ahead and smooth it. A little more of a draw. Smooth it. And then we want to pull the mouth in, so we're going to go to the crease brush. And this is another example of where some of the tasks might have been done using the box modeling or vertex modeling, which would have been the slope here, or building it here where I'm building it in the sculpting, and it's up for debate how that would work. Now I'm going to take the pinch brush and see if I can pull the edges of the mouth down, which is probably not a wise idea. Because this is a perfect example of where if you make a mistake here, it's not clear you're going to be able to get it back. And that's one of the reasons why I try to do as much as I possibly can in the vertex sculpting rather than here, because man, if you mess this mouth up, you're stuck. And why you might mess it up is because if you address, let me go ahead and save this. If my job is to move the edges and I get this too large, then what I'll get is I'll move the entire mouth. Whereas if I get it too small, let's undo that, I'll move just something like that, which is not what you want. So it really is kind of tricky. And I think a lot of the sculpting that you see up on the internet, that is what the people know the hard way how to do this. And now looking at the drawing, this looks like it needs, this edge is wrong, and it should have been built in the vertex modeling up here, but it's actually down here. So we're going to go in here and try and clean that up. We'll go ahead and use the draw, and what we'll do is we'll add some stuff along the edge and see if we can build it back up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's smooth it out. And the nostrils are going to go from here to here, and we'll use the draw brush again. This time we'll press Control. So we'll go to hold down the Control key. Just go ahead and form the nostril, drive it up higher, and then smooth it using the Shift key. And that nose seems to be a bit too pointed, so I am going to flatten it. And smooth it. Hopefully that'll take care of that. No, I don't like that. I think maybe we'll go see if we can put it back. Okay, looking at it, you see that there's a curve. This is two lines, it's curved. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is try to see if I can smooth an even curve up here. I could use the grab brush, but I don't necessarily know that I want to do that. Now the illustration doesn't show a tight curve here, but the thing, so we can try to see if we can do something with that. Okay, so the next step then would be to build the eyebrow up, the area around the eyebrow. In the illustration, it's not large, so what we'll probably do is something like this. This is the draw brush again. So just a suggestion of a crease around the eye. Here's the crease brush. Let's see. And smooth. Now, to me, it looks like the forehead is built up, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, but this probably should have been something. So I have, like, see how the jaw area is built up, much larger, and that's not too bad, but what it is, it looks like so it's like a bean shape. So let's see if we can fix that by going with clay strips. See how this looks. Oh, that's not right. Yeah, so that was totally messed up. Let's try this again. All right, let's see how this does. It's probably not the way to do this. Okay, now I think the way to do this is with the grab brush. So let's see if we can do that. Maybe a little bit on the jaw. And we'll try to get the mouth. So here's a problem, was that by pulling the jaw out, I pulled the mouth out, and the mouth is too large. So let's see if we can get this back in. Because the whole point to the mouth is that it is small relative to the chin, so that's not too bad. See, I really don't like using the grab brush because you're sitting there for hours trying to get it to work, and it's something you probably could have worked out when you were doing the cage mesh. But that looks like about it, and now we'd be able to go on to the eyes.